Will it be delight or will it be heartbreak? Two titans of world rugby once again finding themselves in the knockout cup game of a Rugby World Cup. It is a pressure cooker of tension, stress, and strain as we have built up to this game. A wonderful crash ball episode for you to all listen in on, but most importantly, this is the broadcast that you've all been looking for. Good evening, hello, and welcome. This is a One World Sports Radio broadcast. My name is David Midgley, and alongside me is Otu Ozmaster Simon. He's donning the colors, and I've got somewhat of a tint of the away kit. Not quite there fully, but we are excited for this game. Otu Simon, how are you feeling ahead of this momentous occasion?
Well, nervous. This is going to be huge. We got rid of one English team earlier today, and hoping to get rid of another one.
Yeah, absolutely. 13 degrees is the weather there. It's a lot milder than the South Africans would be expecting at home. But nevertheless, with the showers overhead, it will be one that will hopefully produce a fireball of international rugby. Two sides that are in a different point in their Rugby World Cup journey, although they find themselves at the same place, because England have not yet lost a game and have had a far simpler, arguably, journey to the semi-final. South Africa really had to grind and fight for every centimetre on the field for many games in this Rugby World Cup, and it promises to be at Saint-Denis, Stade de France, a game that will live up to the hopes of every neutral fan. South Africa in their traditional green and gold, England in the white with red accoutrement. Otu, they will be looking forward to this game, will the English, because they have waited 4 years to get true redemption in a knockout game at Rugby World Cup. They came up short 32-12 last time around, and I don't think those wounds will be easily forgotten.
Yeah, there are 14 players who played in the final in 2019, and I'm sorry to say that I think they will be denied once again. If I look at the Springbok team, if I can take you through that, starting at number
Please
1,
do.
Steven Kitshoff, Bongi Mbonambi, Frans Malherbe, Eben Etzebeth at number 4, Franco Mostert 5, number 6, Siya Kolisi, our captain, my captain. Pedestef de Toy, 74 caps. Oh, Dwayne Vermeulen, and then we get to Kobus Ranach, son of a Springbok legend. Mani Libbok, making sons of a Springbok legend. 11, Cheslin Colby, Damien Dalende at 12, and may he reign Elende on England tonight. Jesse Kriel at number 13, 14, Kurtley Arendse, 15, Damian Willemse. 895 caps, 15 more than, I guess the game against
The French, yeah.
Quarterfinal against the French. Dion Fourie is the big question, but we'll get to that. So will you take us, please, through the England team?
Yeah, it's an unchanged Springbok starting lineup, and it's probably one of the most experienced that we've seen in a long time. In England's front row, we find experience in Joe Marler and Dan Cole. He is separated, well, they are separated by Jamie George. Maro Toje, well over 100 caps with George Martin, who has less than 10. Courtney Laws is today's vice-captain. Tom Curry and Ben will certainly prove a thorn in the side of the South Africans. Alex Mitchell and Owen Farrell are your halfback pairings for the English Roses. Elliot Daly, Manu Tuolangi, Joe Marchand, and Johnny May are on the front foot for defence and attack for the English. And Freddie Stewart rounds out that 15. A brilliant export of English rugby under the high ball. So hopefully they can put some pressure on the South African side, is what all fans of England rugby will be hoping for.
So looking at the bench for the Springboks, number 16, Dion Fourie. That's the big question. Bongi Mbonambi and Dion Fourie. And then moving on, Oxen Che, murderous at Lucette Prop. Vincent Koch bringing all the experience and all the inside info, playing for Saracens. This is a bench that will make the difference. R.G. Snyman, Kwagga Smith, Faf de Klerk on the bench with Andre Pollard, and then Willie Leroux with a 5-3 split.
Yeah, it's going to be
That's
a crucial
be
one
key
for the Springboks. Yeah, absolutely. And particularly Andre Pollard, having played at Leicester Tigers, where Steve Borthwick, England coach, comes from. So Theo Dan, Ellis Genge, and Carl Sinclair are your replacement for front row for England. Ollie Chesham is partnered with Billy Vunipola as your replacement forwards, in addition to Danny Kerr, George Ford, and Ollie Lawrence. So George Ford, drop goal master as he was earlier in this tournament, he will want to make an impact late in the game as well. Andre Pollard. Your referee team for this evening, Baki was for the South African game. He's partnered with Paul Williams from his self-same country, and Andrew Brace is number 1. So if Ben O'Keefe is injured, like Yaku Paper was in the first quarterfinal, Andrew Brace will take the whistle. Brendan Pickrell remains behind the TV for this evening's game, coming under a lot of criticism where the refereeing teams, as we're just noticing the toss, will try and suss out who wins the toss and who has the bat first. But some concern and criticism as these refereeing teams were named this week or two because of the closeness with which that French game was encountered last week. So some opportunities for Ben O'Keefe to redeem himself somewhat.
Could be. We had an awesome selection of voices on our Crash Ball podcast, which we'll keep on punting and you can keep on listening to. So this will be the 6th game this is the second playoff game at least that Ben O'Keefe will be overseeing, and the Paul Williams, Andrew Brace, Brendan Pickerel of New Zealand, that is a heavily Southern Hemisphere refereeing group. That is that must be weird. I mean, people would look at that and say, hey, what's going on here? I certainly would.
Absolutely. It's going to be an interesting read of the game. I think the South Africans perhaps may be better placed to go along with the flow of the Kiwi referee, and hopefully they can really come out on the other side of it with the victory. The other bit of information that we've noticed is that England have only scored 1 try across their 5 meetings with South Africa in Rugby World Cup, and that was in a Rugby World Cup 2003 game, so 20 years ago, in which they won 25 points to 6. So South Africa have really been defiant in their tightness of ship when playing the England side. You remember that 36-0 at the opening game of Rugby World Cup 2007, but it was final 2007, 32-12. So an absent surprise in that final in 2007, but 2 of probably the most iconic South African tries in the 2019 World Cup final. The same captains line up in the tunnel in the Saint-Denis Stade de France, and just looking at the stonewall faces in that tunnel, you've got to suspect that there's going to be a fight that neither will want to give an inch.
I can see the faces now of Siya Kolisi and Faf de Klerk. No song. They were probably told not to sing. but they'll break out into song as soon as they can, and no doubt the tunes are in their heads. I picked this game, South Africa by 9.
Yes.
So let's see what happens, and I think you can just see, as we mentioned in the Crash Ball podcast last night, or day before yesterday, the Springboks are focused. They know what they need to do. This English team has not had a lot of. They've had it easy, easy as
really
you can get in a World Cup.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they haven't been tested. That's the one. Yeah.
Never underestimate what a knockout semi-final game can do to these two teams. One will take on Argentina in the bronze game on Friday, the other New Zealand for Rugby World Cup glory on Saturday. It is, Otto, Simon, probably the biggest game for South Africa in a long time. It was a massive hurdle against the French last weekend, 60,000 French fans, but there'll be no less English fans in the stadium. A lot of them would have come across the channel on the Eurostar perhaps, or maybe in a ferry, but it will be packed to the rafters, no doubt, with the English fans. A lot of South Africans overseas will make sure that they are there as well to support the green and gold. Don't forget, you can like and subscribe the podcast and the live broadcast that we have by dinging the bell just under this broadcast. So don't forget that you can always make sure that you are joining us for every single moment of Springbok Rugby. Whether the joy and dream ends today or whether we are back next week, Saturday, lies in the hands of the 23 men that have been selected to carry the Springbok on their arm and the Protea on their jersey. This is a game that will be been prepped, discussed, and planned for many, many months. And just watching the energy with which both sides are singing the national anthem or to chills down your spine. Where do you think South Africa's strengths lie?
Forward pack and bench. That's it. We talked about it on Thursday night. This is going to be a big challenge for England to just stay with the Springboks, and then to stay with the Springboks when they bring their when they bring the bench players on. I'm so nervous. I cannot tell you. These guys have got the hopes of a whole nation on their shoulders, and they seem to be very calm. They seem to be very focused. So I'm happy. It was a monumental effort to get through that quarterfinal, and these guys know that there's only one game left, and then it's going to be the final, and anything can happen there. So let's see. The stage is set. The players look extremely calm. They actually make me feel a little bit better looking at them. Siya Kolisi belting out the national anthem. That's beautiful to watch. And now we will see.
Yes, serenity on the faces of these players, Otto, and it's that calm with which we will approach this game, because we want to bring you the quality broadcast. The other thing, Otto, is that you know, the English have been so good in setting their stall out at rugby games since Borthwick took over. You'll remember that is point coming off the back of a controversial removal of Eddie Jones just 7 months outside of Rugby World Cup, and he's come in and said, let's look at what we do well as an England side and play within those means and succeed on that. He struggled during Six Nations this year, but he has slowly but surely found a rhythm that works for England. South Africa will know that any mistakes that the English make will result in points almost always. It is a momentous occasion not only for South African team, well, as a team, but also South African individual. Curtly Arendse coming into this test with a full house of tries, having scored 13 tries in 13 tests to date. This game has also had Andre Pollard, who's previously scored 7 conversions in his 6 appearances against England, but holds a record with 19 penalty goals. England will kick off on our screens from right to left in the traditional white, South Africa in green and gold. They have yet, South Africa, to wear any other color, barring the traditional green and gold, in a knockout game at Rugby World Cup. However, we will wait and see what World Rugby's decision is before next week's final, if they make it through. There's a change as Mathieu Renal has come onto the bench in place of the Irishman Andrew Brace. So it's a late change despite their allocation earlier in the week from World Rugby. So we'll just keep an eye on that as well. England right to left. And there we go. Kickoff underway. It is a high-hanging kick between 10 and 23. 10 and 22 collected, knocked forward by England. And it's a penalty advantage as Etzebeth collects at the bottom, goes to the bottom of a ruck. Kobus Ranach looking for options, and he goes to Franco Mostert. 17 seconds on the clock. Ranach digging it out again, and there's a box kick almost inevitably on its way. It does come, and it'll land at about halfway, nearest to us, collected by the English fullback. I said he was good under the high ball, and he is just brilliant as he takes this one into contact. Itoje, without his traditional scrum cap, takes it up to halfway. He's harassed by Dwayne Vermeulen at the breakdown, trying to swim over the top. Let's see how they go here. Mitchell is the man in possession with the ball. He's come into the side when most people wouldn't have thought that he was the right one for the 9th position. Ola within midfield. Pieterstep immediately over the top of the ball. Will South Africa turn it over? And he's been cleaned out as Pieterstep to toy. And there's a penalty for England early on here, near side of the park between 10 and 22. And it is Marla and Itoje that have been credited with the success there.
Strange decision there by the referee. I thought that Pieterstep was over the ball there, but Owen Farrell is going to line up for the 3 points. Straight in front. So no doubt what you need to do there. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Pieterstep was maybe beaten by the ruck. So we see Manie Libbok and one of the English players going back, tapping the ball back.
Elliot Daly, yeah.
Under the high ball there, Elliot Daly, yeah, thank you. And it's going to be Owen Farrell who's going to line this kick up almost straight in front. It should be an easy conversion for the England captain under lots of pressure, just to the left of the left-hand upright, about 10 meters outside the 22 of the Springboks. He's looking down at the ball.
He steps up, slots it. So 3-0 England lead in the semi-final, the second semi-final. And English fans are already beating their chest. It's 3-0, 2.5 minutes into the first half. South Africa will now kick off in the direction of the Springboks. A little bit of maybe nerves, a bit of edginess as Steve Borthwick just remains stone-faced as the ball will finally make its way out. Manie Libbok not kicking off. Damien Willemse, no, they thought about it for a second, but then Libbok does get us underway once again. Itoje takes it outside his 22, immediately swarmed by Etzebeth. South Africa looking to get into that ruck, but England look like they're sealed a little bit off, but the box kick coming from Mitchell here. He'll step back into his 22, and that's stumped up high in the air, near side of the park. 5 meters out from touchline and halfway, and it's been knocked out. It'll be a South African throw to the line out. So first opportunity for the Springboks to set the line out. And the throw is going to be crucial here from Bongi Mbonambi as the South Africans discuss what the plan is.
Yeah, it's a good start here by the Springboks, very calm, very collected. England seemed a little bit nervous, a little bit edgy. The Springboks are just calm as you like. Kalm soos 'n dag afwalm. Bonge
It's turned over
Mbonambi
by
with
the
the throw.
English. Mitchell sends it off to Marla. Brought down by Frans Malherbe. Into the pocket it goes. High hanging kick from Farrell. On the corner. Will South Africa retain it or will it have come off an Englishman? We'll just wait and see if it comes off of a South African. Paul Williams on the far side, the assistant referee, not indicating yet to whom that will go, but there's a high hanging kick there. And it was number 14, Johnny May, who contested it with Cheslin Colby. And I'm wondering if it'll be a South African throw. It doesn't look like Bongi Mbonambi is setting up. Although, no, it looks like it'll be a scrum. There was a knock on there. So the indication from Cheslin Colby there in the replay was correct. It'll be a South African throw. And this is going to be a big test for both front rows. Experience or two in both of them. So
here we go. Here we go. First scrum of the match. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah,
so it will be
each.
Crouch. It will be a big
and the referee just resets. So he just says, "Hold on, lads. Let's get it sorted here." Jamie George trying to get a bit of clarification from referee O'Keefe, rather. I don't know why I said Brace. I keep forgetting that Brace has been left out. Perhaps injured in the warm-ups or perhaps struggling a little bit with an illness. 924 kilograms in South Africa's pack weight. England, an even 900. Looks behind him, does Kobus Ranach. Just checking with referee's assistant Paul Williams. Set is the call and the feed is there. A static scrum. No real use available for the South Africans, but use it as a call. Vermeulen out the back. Bounces off one tackle and gets over the 10-meter line. Good support by the South African back, Sincere Kolisi. High-hanging bomb now from Mani Lubbock. Out wide, it's going to cut inside. Will Kurtley Arendse be able to get a hold of it? No, he isn't. It's Freddie Stewart that's under the high ball there. I said he's good, and he's shown exactly what he would prefer to do. Now South Africa to defend. It's between 10 and halfway. The position to contact with Martin. The centipede is coming, and now he's going to have to try and dig it out. Will Alex Mitchell. Marla at the back there. Itzebeth looking to disrupt it. And there we go. Box kick. Lobbed up for Willemse to take. He knocks it back, and it comes up in possession of Ben Earl from England. Mitchell dinks it over the top, and that'll go straight. Oh, nearly went straight out, and it's just dropped in play to go before going out. Great bit of work there. Good skill.
Razor thin lines there for Mitchell. And it will be a defensive line out for the Springboks on the near side of the field. About 6 or 7 meters from the Springbok touchline. That was an expert kick. Bonge Mbonambi with the throw.
Double dummies as this one goes to Peter Steff, but it's the South Africans misbehaving. It's a penalty advantage about 7 meters out from the South African try line. Referee Ben O'Keefe
not straight.
Saying that that was a bit of an error. They've opted for the scrum by the looks of it, as the two front rows will square up again. And Bongi Mbonambi is just mentioning to Franco Mostert, you've just got to worry about the engagement. We're just going to have a look at it, perhaps, to see whether or not the South Africans were impeded upon. But I think it will be an England penalty.
Yeah, it's going to be a scrum to England on the 15-meter line from the near side touchline, and just about 10 meters out from the Springbok try line. English players are very happy with that, but let's see what the Boks can do. They looked good in that first scrum, so we'll see if they can carry on with that. Siya Kolisi talking to Ben O'Keefe. They probably have each other's phone numbers by now, after all the games that the Kiwi has reffed.
Yeah, it's the third one
Twice
that
in
South
this.
Africa has had him for in 2023. That's correct. Twice in this year, in this World Cup.
Yeah, in this World
And
Cup,
the scrum goes down, as we'll have to reset. It's a bit of reset here. So the other time coming from the Rugby Championship game in which South Africa played Australia.
Now, this some instructions here from the ref.
Probably because of the wet turf underneath that some of the players may be struggling a little bit. There were showers that we saw in the opening images of this game. South Africa now immediately having to defend early on in this encounter. First 10 minutes nearly up. It's 8:10 on the clock.
They're already 3 points behind our South Africa. 8 minutes, yes, as you said. Scrum is set now. Let's see.
Mitchell with the feed out the back from Ben Earl. He goes into contact midfield. Mitchell again looks for the dummy pass, finds Itoje, trying to carry it up. And into the hands now of Courtney Laws. They're still looking for a penalty advantage, and the South Africans have been ill-disciplined once again. And Ben O'Keefe raises his arm for another penalty to England. It's a rocky start here by the Springboks. They started well enough, but it's just gone somewhat pear-shaped, perhaps in their lack of structure. They've been very good, have the South Africans, in their defense. And since that early infringement by the Springboks to give England the lead, as Otto, you'll take us through the next 10 minutes, it's been all England.
Yeah, not entirely convincing. I'm not convinced about that penalty either. Siya Kolisi had his hands all over that ball, but the referee saying he was beaten by the ruck. Good forward play here by England off the back of the scrum, and equally good defense. So once again, the Springboks, that defensive attack that the Springboks have shown in the past few years. So you can't charge down a penalty. So Farrell makes it 6-0 to England. 10 minutes played, 6-0 to England, and South Africa will kick off once again. Manie Libbok has the ball in his hands. Let's see what South Africa can do from here. They're still very focused, very calm. The South Africans sending this ball high into the air to the near side of the field, picked up by Courtney Laws, wearing number 6 on his back, and some attendance from the South Africans. The caterpillar is set up for Mitchell. Is the England number 9. He kicks it far downfield and outside the field of play. It will be a Springbok line out on the near side of the field, just inside, about 5 meters inside the England half. So let's see what the Springboks can do from here. They all seem to be very, very calm. Perhaps too calm. Bongi and Bonambi with a throw to Etzebeth. They set them all, and England managed to scrum them back a little bit. Use it once, says the referee. And Kobus Ranach goes digging for the ball. He gets it now to De Allende, just inside England's half. Kobus Ranach is swamped immediately as he picks that ball up. Good support there by the Springboks. Manie Libbok now at scrum half on the halfway line, 15 meters from the near side touchline. Into the hands of Peter Steph du Toit behind the advantage line now. The Springboks trying to pick and go. Now the caterpillar will be set for Kobus Ranach in the middle of the park pretty much. Kobus Ranach kicks it to the near side. No, it's going to stay in the middle of the field, and it will be a swamp of Springbok defenders going into the England number 15. They carry it up once again through Mahler, 15 meters from the near side touchline. Mitchell digs in his heels there, try and get control of the ball. He's got it now, sends it back. Very irritating to me personally. And Mitchell sends it now high to the near side touchline outside of touch. And that will be a Springbok line out once again inside the England half, this time on their 10-meter line. So a net gain for the Springboks.
Yeah, but
Good
almost
stuff.
a waste for the English, because they've not really got anywhere. They've backwards in the series of play, and it's almost an ideal, not an ideal, but a copy and paste or two with what we saw not 5 minutes ago. So I've got to ask the question: if you're going to kick it out from the back of your own ruck, you've got to at least gain territory, because that's not at all what England have done. Now they're having to defend another line-out in which they could seriously find themselves being put under pressure by the South Africans.
13 minutes, 12 minutes and 43 seconds on the clock. There's a timeout here for some water for the English players. They've all played more minutes on average than the Springboks have. So they are obviously tired already. And we'll see as time is on. 13 minutes gone. Yetzebeth takes it from Mbonambi, and the maul is set on the 10-meter line of England. The Springboks are mauling the ball over the 10-meter line. The English trying to peel off, trying to swim through, and that is the maul collapsed by the English, says the referee. Seems to be fine with it as my feed cuts out. And we'll see what the referee says about that. But to me, that is a...
Yeah, it was a turnover ball there, and it was the English that ended up being offside. So it was a turnover ball for England, and then they came back to where that line of scrimmage happened, because at the ruck there, that was subsequent to the maul being collapsed, the TMO Brendan Pickrell just getting in the ears and saying it was Courtney Laws and Tom Curry who were out of line, as Mani Lubbock will kick for the poles kick for touch on the near side.
No.
And you'll just know when you're back.
You cocky bastards. Go for poles. It's a semi-final. So after that ruck,
you'd rather be
we saw the English
than 3 behind. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'd rather be 3 points on the board than 0. So very scrappy there on the ground, and that's not a good sign for the game going forward, because the referee not really picking that up. So Bongi Mbonambi into the arms of Eben Etzebeth. This time the Springbok maul is set fair, and they try to go forward. Very good disruption here by the English, and Ben O'Keefe says England can have the put into the scrum after that maul. And now there's some argy-bargy, and that's not nice. That's going to count in favour of the English.
The number 5, George Martin.
Yeah, most notably, Eben Etzebeth is just standing and watching. Dwayne Vermeulen also just standing and watching. Sia Kolisi getting in there and saying, "No, guys, get out, get out." That's right. We're gonna show you, says Sia Kolisi. I don't know what he said, but his body language was quite positive there towards the English. Just saying, it's fine. Yeah, just let it go, and we'll be back up your noses soon. And now Ben O'Keefe is the schoolmaster, and Owen Farrell and Sia Kolisi are in the headmaster's office. And then let's see what Ben O'Keefe has to say here.
Yeah, he's just saying to him that he doesn't want to give out yellow cards, but it looks like number 12, Manu Tuolangi, there has been told that he's misbehaving. So we'll just have to see what has happened there. I think Tuolangi's been the misbehaving child there. And now Sia Kolisi is just remonstrating with the referee as Jamie George comes and pats the skipper on the back there. So I think maybe just a warning to both sides. It'll be a South African. It was a shove by Manu Tuolangi on one of the South Africans, so it'll be a South African penalty. So a bit of a get out of jail free card there
yes.
or two.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a tactic that's often employed against us, and this time it backfired, and rightly so. So Mani Libbok is going to put the ball in between the sticks from the near side touchline, about 10 meters in, and he's going to line up. Oh no, he's going. Oh no, you cocky bastards!
Again,
oh no!
Just having a look at the replay here. It was South Africa that got the maul going. They threw their backs in, both Jesse Kriel and Damian de Linde as the throw comes in now.
Yeah, so once again, the English are swimming around the side. The referee is happy. He's going to give the ball back to England. No, the ball is available on South Africa's side. Franco Mostert on the 5-meter line, driving forward, lost forward. In contact there by Franco Mostert. And England much too happy about that little win. So it will be a scrum to England. And that is going to be a defensive scrum for England on the 5-meter line. England are under the pump here, definitely. That was a what's that guy's name? Martin, the number 5, just driving his shoulder into Franco Mostert there. No arms wrapped around the tackle. We'll note that one for the podcast in the coming week. And now we'll see how much gas these English guys have got in the tank. South Africans digging their toes into the ground, and it's a penalty to England as there's a knee on the ground from Stephen Kitsoff, says the referee. And yeah, that's you keep on talking like that, son. We'll see after 80 minutes. Stephen Kitsoff looking up at the polls. He's also noted that one. 6-0 is the score. 17 minutes played. And the penalty kick will go over the near side touchline on the 10-meter line of England. Springboks still inside English territory. The rain is starting to drip there in Paris at Saint-Denis. So it's going to be even more difficult as the English throw goes to an immediate sack. Courtney Laws caught that, and it's a ruck. So the England team inside their own 10-meter line sends the kick up, does the number 9. It's going to come down just inside Springbok territory, grabbed by Cheslin Colby, so well supported there. Reinach to Peter Steph du Toit, rides the tackle of Mahler and company. Mani Libbok to the far side of the field. The ball is going to come down just inside the English half. Well collected there by England. There's some contestation there on the ground, but it's an English ball. Coming forward, 15 meters from the far side touchline, inside their own inside their own half are England. With the number 9 sending it up. It's going to go down just outside the 22, where Damian Willemse collects, not held in the tackle, well supported by the Springboks, just outside the 22, in the middle of the park now. Kitsoff gets more support here. Kobus Reinach digs it out to the middle of the park. Mani Libbok sends it to the middle, and it's going to come down just inside the Springbok half, where it's well collected there by May, I think, and there's a penalty to the Springboks for sealing off by the English players. Well collected there by Johnny May, the number 11, and sealed off. And now Ben O'Keefe walks England back 10 meters for remonstration. So it's on the 10-meter line, right in the middle of the park.
Owen Farrell. Yeah, Kobus Ranach was trying to get the ball from Owen Farrell, and he refuses to give the ball to Kobus Ranach, and that's where referee Ben O'Keefe has stepped in. It's nonsense. It's stuff that I'm glad that Ben O'Keefe has picked up on it, but it's the kind of behavior that is indicative of this English side.
Yeah, this is not going well here for England if they're going to get on the bad side of Mr. O'Keefe. He is a very fair referee, as we've seen against Ireland as well. And it's just not on, says the referee. So it will be Mani Labok lining up about 2 or 3 meters from the left-hand upright on the 10-meter line now of England after they've been walked back 10 meters. Mani Labok says, yes, thank you very much. We will take the 3. And let's see. Mani Labok. 20 minutes played in the first half. 6-0 is the score to England. England leading and now putting Mani Labok in range. He steps forward with the right boot, strikes it well, and it sails oh so sweetly in between the uprights. Mani Labok, 3 points! The Springboks have their first points of this second semi-final. Mr. Midgley, next 10 minutes is yours.
Yeah, a quarter way through this semi-final. We're just having a look at the replay there. Owen Farrell immediately remonstrating with the ref because he didn't get his way. Good catch there by Franco Mostert inside his own 22. It was nearly over his own head. Kobus Ranach at the back goes to Kitshoff. He's got support from his lock forward in Eben Etzebeth and Pieter-Steph du Toit. Bongi Monambi extending that caterpillar there. Box kick coming now. High and something for the boys to chase. Kolisi immediately looked like he was blocked in that instance there. Franco Mostert on top of the English recipient. Mitchell having to dig deep in that one. To Farrell. Thumps this. Gario and Upananda looking for some space inside the South African defense. Willemse takes it inside his own 22, and that one's kicked away to Coatley Orense, who thumps this downfield outside the 22 of the English. Stewart with ball in hand inside, and this one's thumped. It's a bit of ping-pong rugby at the moment. Willemse, good catch before he's smashed by Stewart. Bad pass from him as this one is collected by England. So now they're in this 22 of the South Africans. George with ball in hand goes to Stewart. Stewart inside to his men. He's looking for ways through in the hands of Ben Earl. South Africa giving away vital possession there. Penalty advantage coming now for England. South Africa's discipline costing them early in this first half. Mitchell, the other direction to Farrell. Goes that wide to England. And can they get a hand on it? No, they can't. Nearly Elliot Daly rather nearly got a hand on it, but they'll come back for the penalty advantage. A little bit of hot mouth stuff there for the South Africans, but the discipline is really costing the Springboks this evening.
Yeah, and that's a strange thing to see because the Springboks' first yellow card was last week against the French. Maybe they think they can play a little bit more risque, but they need to stick to the disciplines here, the Springboks. So England will have a chance to stretch it out once again to a 6-point game. That was just an unfortunate lying on the wrong side by the Springbok captain, Siya Kolisi. Good work on the ground there by Courtney Laws. Those are the players that I feared before this game started. Those 2 loose forwards for England, they are going to be critical. And we'll see this kick by Owen Farrell as I just take care of something here. Side. I'll be right back.
20 minutes into this, 20 meters into this field, 22 meters out, 20 meters in field, 7 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Thumps it and he slots it. So England lead by 6 points. They maintain that 6-point lead, 9-3 as we head to the 24-minute mark. Some French fans celebrating as they support England, no doubt. So it's almost a 2 against 1 here, but the South Africans showed how good they were despite French domination in the crowd. Labok with the ball in hand, he's going to get us underway once again. Will it be a deep one? It is indeed a deep one, right onto the 5-meter line of the English. Courtney Laws takes it up into contact with South Africa's Eben Etzebeth, and they've picked him up. They nearly dragged him backwards there as this one's set up for a ruck. And now the ball is made available to Alexander Mitchell. Box kick coming, not able to be charged down by the Springboks. And it'll go out again as Willemse collects it. Referee's assistant on the near side is Mathieu Ranel. Boy, oh boy, do these English players whine quite a bit. It's a frustration as a South African fan for those watching this game, just because every time the referee makes a call, the England fans are complaining about something, whether they like it or not. Just finding a way to complain. It was a great bit of work by the Springboks, nearly picking up and walking away. They've got the ball inside the English half, about 1 meter inside, looking for Eben Etzebeth, but it goes to the back at Franco Mostert. Inside to Chesden Curtly Orense. He's away. He's beat one man and he's brought down by the second. South Africa swarmed the breakdown. Courtney Laws trying to be painful to the South Africans. There's a turnover ball and he does get that in the end. South Africa trying a fancy move from the lineup, but it failed in the end as they're now having to defend once again. Box kick from the back of the ruck. Collected by Dwayne Vermeulen. Smashed by Elliot Daly. He gets out of the way. South Africa still in position with the ball. Etzebeth goes up towards the halfway line. Joe Marler sealing off again, and the referee blows it immediately. So good bit of refereeing as he called Sia Kolisi earlier, and then again with Marler sealing off. So a fantastic effort thus far from Ben O'Keefe. We may not like it when he gets it right for the other team, but boy, oh boy, do we love it when we get it right. 26 minutes gone, 9 points to 3 as England lead. This one will be thumped out over the near side touchline by Mani Lebok.
That is just telling me this England team is desperate. They know they can't face up, they can't front up. This game is going to go one way. The Springboks just need to keep calm, just need to keep doing what they're doing. There is no way this English team is going to get over
by Mbonambi, and it's skew. Oh no, rather it's a skew throw by the Springboks. Initially, it was Ben O'Keefe who had his arm aloft for the South Africans, and that's why for a moment we thought it may be a South African penalty, but he changed his arm aloft, and so it will be a penalty for England. That wasn't even close to being skewed. That wasn't even close to being straight, rather.
Yeah.
Reminds me of
as I said,
a little bit of a go for it.
Well, it reminds me of a club game where you just keep on knocking on the ball and throwing in skews so you can scrum and get a penalty. There's another Englishman down on his knees now, getting some attention. That's the number 7. That is what's his name?
Tom Curry.
28 minutes. Yeah, Curry. That's the one. Yeah, he was one of the guys that I thought would steal our ball all the time, and he's been met with some offensive defense. So, waiting for the scrum. Yes, go ahead.
Off the clock, just looking like he's warming up. It reminds me a little bit of a comment by former referee Nigel Owens saying, "I'm straighter than that." And if you know anything about him, he is, So take cover that what you will. So South Africa will now have to defend a scrum outside England's 22, and that's the frustration for South African fans. Is every time they seem to be in the English half, it's not them who has possession. So not able to really get front foot opportunities here. Faf de Klerk was just warming up there, so we might see an early substitution. Perhaps Kobus Reinach feeling the heat a little bit. This middle field, this huge scrum by this box. It looks like it may have built about 70 degrees, but great rush defense by the Springboks. Mitchell looking for options to the near side or the far side. Good bit of work by Damien Delende as he's trying to fight his way through. Marley in possession, and he goes into contact. Stephen Kitsoff looking to steal the ball, and he's been told to just leave it alone. Mitchell again, Alexander Mitchell, calling for another man into the Caterpillar, giving himself that extra room. That ball popped out, and he had to jink out of the way of Eben Etzebeth to get that kick away. Good take by Dwayne Vermeulen, and it was the South Africans that were offside from that box kick. Brendan Pickrell in the ear of referee Ben O'Keefe.
This England team is going to crack at any moment. I don't see any way that they will come back, and unless they sandbag.
I think the challenge is the Springboks' discipline is a problem.
I think the Springboks are sensing that these guys are up for the taking, and they're just getting over eager. So they just need to calm down. They just need to wait for their opportunities and take them. This England side is not going to be a problem for the Springboks if they just get themselves back into the right frame of mind.
Jamie George with his first throw of the half. He goes all the way back, and South Africa turn over the ball. Peter Steph du Toit into contact, going between 10 and 22. Now South Africa with an opportunity to get front football. Libbok thumps this high in the air, and it almost goes backwards in the wind. Cheslin Colby nearly getting a hold of it. Kobus Ranach perhaps in space, but Stewart cleans it up at the back for England. Goes up towards the 22-meter line of the South Africans. Mitchell to Marler. Marler decides to throw a dummy, but goes straight into contact. There to Farrell. Farrell trying to kick it over the top. It stops. South Africa have the ball. Penalty advantage. Or was it knocked backwards? He hasn't indicated properly that it is an advantage. So Kitsoff into contact he goes. Far side of the park. Marler trying to be a pest at the ruck. And it's a penalty advantage for his pestering. South Africa initially get it to Libbok, who absolutely throws that one into the turf. That was the most intentional knock-on I've ever seen. But there was a penalty advantage for them. Wow.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you, everybody, for keeping us in the game. And Nizam Peck says, thanks, guys, for that same thing. It's a penalty kick over the far side of the park. As we take a little time here to acknowledge all our supporters here. Go Poker says, Umbakazi Memani. So thank you very much for listening in, and we've got some big rugby to get rid of here. It's going to be a throw into the Springboks. Pollard on for
from Mani Libbok.
Oh, a bit too early, I think. Mbonambi on the far side of the park throws this in. Etzebeth gets the maul going. The maul is set once. Use it once, says the referee. The maul crawls, crabs over to the far side. Kobus Ranach says, I'll have it, into the hands of Dialende. And he gets through the first tackle almost. Good support there by the Springboks. Kobus Ranach picks it up, kicks it to the near side of the park. It's going to be easily fielded by the England fullback. 9 points to 3. 31 and a half minutes played. And it'll be a free kick to the English. Mani Libbok wasn't having a bad game. Why is he yanked off the field that quickly? Maybe the coaches just want Pollard on when it starts to rain. So the free kick by Stewart, the fullback for England, as we see an English player crying off the field with a broken nose or some kind of problem. Yeah, leaking.
Yeah, my only thinking around the removal of Mani Libbok is that they are finding the South Africans that it's not, as Billy Vunipola comes onto the park, I think they don't think that there's an opportunity for strong attacking rugby in the way that Mani Libbok is so good at doing. And Tom Curry is going to come off for Billy Vunipola, and presumably it's just so that he can get some blood work done.
He has a bad injury to his nose. Oh, that was a death stare if there ever was one by Bongi Mbonam. As the camera went swooping past him, he's going to throw the ball in from the near side touchline into the halfway line out. And who's going to be the recipient here? It will be Dwayne Vermeulen. The maul is set. And the Springboks mauling forward, getting up to the halfway line, back up to the halfway line. The English players are in there. Use it once, says the referee, but Bongi Mbonambi has it at the back. Kobus Ranach says, give it to me. He sends it up high. It's going to come down just inside the 22 of the English, where Johnny May fumbles it backwards. And the Springboks are swarming over that ball, but the English players are there in support. Maro Itoje, one of them, the best English player. And now Vinipola loses it forward. Kobus Ranach collects it. 15 meters from the near side touchline, 10 meters from the English try line. The ball is there. Kitsoff picks and goes. He's not even thinking of passing. Kobus Ranach sends it out to Frans Malherbe. They've lost a little bit of ground, but they are in position in the middle of the park. To the far side they go now. Bongi Mbonambi grinds it up into the guts. Here go the South African forwards. Just a pick and go. To the far side. Now to the near side they go. And this is Willie Leroux, first receiver. Peter Steph de Toy now going up the middle. Franco Mostert now. And still the Springboks hammer away at the English line. Oh, that's a missed pass there. But the referee says that the English were offside. 34 minutes played. Offside. Another chance for South Africa to get 3 points. They're about 5 or 6 meters to the near side of the right-hand upright. And the English...
Joe Marler, again, guilty party in that instance. He shakes his head. I don't think he can be disappointed with anybody but himself there. And Owen Farrell once again having a word with the referee. Surely he's got to have a word with Owen Farrell, does Ben O'Keefe, and say, leave me alone.
Nick Vickers here on YouTube saying, hi everyone, I'm English, but I love the 1WSR commentaries. Yes, Nick, we love you too. Thank you so much for the support. Let us know what you think. Who's going to win? The South Africans are still behind. We obviously have very green-colored glasses, but it's always good to hear from the opposition. We already got rid of one English team, and Handré Pollard will get South Africa closer if he can. This kick is well within his range. It's about 20 meters from the touchline, just to the right of the right-hand upright, and he just bunts it straight through. And it is a 3-point game. 9 points to England, 6 points to South Africa. 5 minutes left in the first half. Thank you so much for everybody listening in, and send us your comments. Let us know who you think is going to win. This is a tough match so far, but I think the Springboks are on the verge of just walking over these English guys. They don't look anywhere near the standard of the Springboks. So Owen Farrell with a kickoff to the far side of the park, 10 meters out. Dwayne Vermeulen winds up, gets ankle tap. He's got some support. The ball is retained by the Springboks. 15 meters from the far side touchline, and it's Handré Pollard with the right boot that sends it over the far side touchline, and the line out will be set for England just inside the Springbok half. So
yeah, it was
Handré Pollard,
bit of good pressure by the English, but it's got a bit of pressure by the English. I think they as much as Otto thinks that there's an opportunity for South Africa to really hammer home an advantage here, the English are proving painful to try and prevent them from getting possession.
They will try any trick in the book. So the throw-in from England, from the far side, is short to Itoje, back to the hooker, and it's gathered up here as the hooker kicks it forward, and now South Africa kicks it back over the 15-meter line into the 22 of England, and Owen Farrell is forced to make the mark. These guys are up for the taking. As the drizzle
a little grubber there by George. It's a great bit of work there as this one's kicked off once again.
Yeah, quick throw in. Damien Willemse sends it up. And the ball is going to come down to Damien Willemse, who kicks it into the field of play. But the far side touch judge, the referee's assistant, says that he didn't manage to keep it in play. Almost brilliant there by Damien Willemse. Just onto the right boot. Just dabbed it downfield. As George now once again has to throw it into an English line-out. They don't want to go to the tall guys they didn't want to go to the tall guys in the previous line-out. Let's see what they do here. Fake jump, goes to the back, and Laws catches it nicely for England, setting the maul. But that maul is being well defended by the Springboks. And now Mitchell is forced to kick. It goes up. It's going to come down just outside the 22 of South Africa. And there's obstruction by South Africa, says Ben O'Keefe. It is a penalty to England, 16 meters from the far side touchline, just outside the 10-meter line of the Springboks. Owen Farrell with the ball in hand. England lead 9 points to 6. 30 coming up to 38 minutes played. And we have another one here from Nick Vickers. Thanks, guys. I think it could go either way, but it'll take a massive English performance to beat the Boks tonight. You are absolutely correct. And thank you so much for listening to us. And let us know where you're listening from. Who do you think is going to win? The comments on YouTube and Facebook go straight through to us here in our virtual studio. So we do appreciate all the comments coming through, and thank you very much for all the support. 2 minutes left. Yeah, Curry is back. So that was an HIA, and so it will be Owen Farrell to see if he can stretch it out to a 6-point lead once again. He's got the ball set just outside the 10-meter line of the Springboks, and he sails it through the uprights as he does. This man is quality. 12 points to 6 now. England lead. 1 minute to play in the first half. And this is going to be an epic battle. Andre Pollard has got the ball in the middle of the park. There's some kind of interruption there by the referee. He sends it sailing through the air in Paris. It's going to come down to Courtney Laws, who gets swamped by some Springbok defenders. Good defense there by England. The caterpillar is not really set, so Mitchell gives it to Mahler, who tries to set another ruck, where the caterpillar now is properly set for the cowardly kick by the number 9. I don't like this caterpillar thing. I think they should get rid of it. And Mitchell runs back and kicks it over his own dead ball line as the clock runs out. 12 points to 6. England lead. That is very telling. That is very telling. These guys don't want to play rugby against South Africa. They just want to lead at the end of the game. That's all they need to do. Drizzle falling in Paris, and the England team driveling. Ooh.
It reminds me of Paris in 2007, where no team could really get an ascendancy. 6 points is very small in terms of the game that we have on hand. It was not too dissimilar on that night in Paris in 2007, but yet South Africa struggling a little bit as they look to try and get some ascendancy, get a foothold in this game. Colleen Phillips or two, what does she have to say?
Yeah, Colleen says she's listening while on the road in Canada. Thanks for this broadcast. Go Bokke. Oh, thanks, Colleen. You're a good person for listening to us, so we do appreciate that. And everybody else listening, we do love you guys. It's so exciting. It's going to be another 40 minutes of hell for us as South African fans. The Springboks are 6 points behind. They've got 40 minutes, but I think really this England team are up for the taking, and I think Rassie Erasmus and Jacques Nienaber is going to tell them the same thing. I don't know what the English coach is going to say to his players in the halftime break, but if I were the Springbok coach tonight, I would tell them, listen, guys, just keep it neat and tidy. These guys are going to crumble. Yeah, these guys are going to crumble. I don't know. I
Absolutely.
just
So
get that feeling. What do you think, Dave?
yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see how the second half pans out. We'll be back for the second half in just a little while. It is one that gives you the opportunity to go and get a drink just to calm your nerves, but also to give you the opportunity to like this video, like us on Facebook, like us on Twitter at OneWorldSR. And if you'd like to be a commentator, admin at 1WSR.com. It gives you an opportunity as well to go to patreon.com/OneWorldSR. And if you have any thoughts, please share them with us in the comments, both Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Subscribe and ding the bell so that we can also continue to bring you this game. We love every single moment that you are with us, whether on commentary or your comments on the Crash Ball podcast. But it will be an absolute privilege if you could join us by liking and subscribing. So we'll see you in a little bit, and take a deep breath because there's so much more to come. And a very good evening to you. Welcome back to this One World Sports Radio broadcast. We are bringing you South Africa versus England live at Stade de France. It is a first half in which the South Africans have struggled to get front football. It's one where they've not really looked comfortable in this style of play. It is a game in which probably England will be certainly the happier as they lead 12 points to 6 as they head out back from the change rooms. It's a style of game much better suited to the England fans. Don't forget that you can join us along as we bring you this game on Instagram. We are One World Sports Radio. You can see all our awesome posts, but most importantly is you can see the fantastic work that we're doing on YouTube. Like and subscribe to this video if you'd like to see more of this action, as well as on Facebook and Twitter. We're on Twitter at One World SR. He's Ozmaster. I'm Coach Dave 93. Sam Gallard is very proud to be back with us. He said he should not let Siya Kolisi play. Interesting take, as there was only one substitution prior to the halftime break as Andre Pollard gets us back underway once again. Inside the English half as Courtney Laws is the intended recipient again for England. Up to the 22-meter lines. England playing this game with a bit of gamesmanship and on the doldrums. Into the 22, he drags this one. Kicked away by Mitchell. And that one's thumped into touch. Otto Simon's alongside me as we bring you the second half. Otto Simon, what are you hoping for from the second half? He'll bring us his thoughts a little bit later. 8 lineouts, 1 for South Africa. Just the 3 for England. Mbonambi to Etzebeth, who gets this away, but it has to be cleaned up by Siya Kolisi. South Africa with possession. Franco Mostert goes up to the 10-meter line. Mbonambi jumps over an English man to try and get into position. Reinach kicks Twan. It's touchdown. Will he be able to collect? South Africa able to knock it back. It's in the hand of an Englishman. Swamped at the breakdown are the South Africans. You can see there's a bit of a change intact here as South Africa are far more energetic, looking to fight this game. Wrestle it back from the English as this one's off a cross kick collected behind the English 10-meter line. South Africa really putting pressure with Damian Willemse suggesting that he had possession of the ball, but referee Ben O'Keefe saying that he did not and he will be penalized as such. So already the South Africans stepping out of line according to referee Ben O'Keefe, but a frantic start here for both sides. I think South Africa is looking to try and pick up the intensity of this game and not let it be slowed down as much as it was in the first half. Nearly an hour of play in that first half. So also time and a little bit of frustration for the South African men.
Yeah, the Boks are really looking to up the intensity here, but just stepping over the line. This is not good. The Springboks just need to keep their discipline because the English players are obviously there for the taking.
Laws collects this one. He gets it back to Mitchell, who jinks away from one, but is able to retain possession. Faf de Klerk on the park in place of Kobus Rana. George looking to set up things for Mitchell, who has to dig this one out deep. Move one of his players' legs out the way. Mitchell kicks this one high into the 22 of the South Africans. Will there be a mark called? It's knocked on by South Africa, or knocked back rather by the English. Marler into contact on the 22-meter line. Goes to Laws, who hands it off to his partner, Tom Curry, with a bit of extra tape. Farrell stabs this one through, and this will be collected by Damian Willemse unconvincingly, and that'll go out. It'll be an English throw about 10 meters out from the Springbok try line. Joe Marchand thinking about a quick throw, but denied. And South Africa really struggling in wet conditions here, in addition to the English style of gameplay that certainly suits them. This will be a throw about 6 meters out from their own try line.
This is not good by the Springboks. They need to just keep their head in the game. This is going all England's way at the moment after halftime. And they need to just regroup, reflect, just keep focus.
Vali Leroux on the
field for...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Vodacom Bulls man replacing a DHL Stormers man. Faf de Klerk, just to remember that he has replaced Kobus Ranach. Throw now. George finds the Koje. Short option and the penalty for the Springboks. Yes! Finally a get out of jail free card. It was a skew throw, Oru Simon.
That is not straight by England. Pressure getting too much for Jamie George. Itoje catching that ball on the far shoulder, and it'll be a scrum to South Africa. My goodness, the support we've been getting here on the chat is absolutely blowing up. Let's see what we can highlight here. Right. So the Springboks have a defensive scrum on the 15-meter line, far side of the field. The Springboks are playing right to left on our screens right now. William Cutson saying, fantastic broadcasts. Thanks for the hard work trying to keep us in the game. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, feed by the Springboks. Scrum, and then the ball coming out for South Africa into the pocket with Pollard, who thumps us away downfield, and that will go into touch on the South African 22, far side of the park. Keep going with the comments.
Yeah, and we had a few people saying where they were listening from. Let's say
as
this
Arceus
one
replaces Eben Etzebeth to earn his 33rd cap today. So already 3 substitutions from the South Africans, hoping to make an impact.
I like this one.
Jamie George with the throw, and we'll get back to those in a second. That one went wayward, and Kits collected over the 22th ball in hand. The clap, lining up the forwards. He goes to Mbonambi. Support from Erge Sneman. Over the 22 they go. Frans Malherbe setting up an almost guaranteed box kick. And there it comes off the left boot of Faf de Klerk into the air, hanging. Stewart finally makes an error, and that's knocked on. South Africa will get the penalty, and it was knocked on by Stewart. So the man who was almost infallible under the high ball has now made his first error.
Oh, that's just pressure by the Springboks. And it's telling now.
Yeah, slipped
so
out of the hands
we had
of George. Go for it.
Yeah, and we had Lida Steenberg saying, Pokke, daai roos het nie dorings nie. Tackle die pommies. Yes. Exactly what I was saying. Thank you.
So for some of our English fans, what does that mean, Otto?
Those roses have lost their thorns. And
beautiful,
we'll just
beautiful.
We'll just pummel them. Yeah. So Etzebeth off. That's quite significant. Right, let's see.
Comments flooding in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as well.
William Cutson saying, fantastic broadcast as we wait for the scrum to be set. Thanks for the hard work trying to keep us in the game. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So de Klerk will have the feed outside his own 10-meter line. The crouch
Yeah, this is an
set.
important scrum.
And they'll have to reset here. So tell us what James has to say.
Yeah, so James says England will not beat New Zealand. The French match is taking its toll on the box. England will not beat New Zealand, he says. Interesting take. Yes, it's been tough quarterfinals. You're quite right there, James. I think, I agree with that. The England team also have had an easy road up to here, so let's see.
Keep going with your comments as they try and reset the scrum.
So let's see here. Carlos de Souza saying, "Come, Boca, use your strength so I can have my first glass of wine to celebrate. Go Otu from Portugal." Very nice. I don't know how to say very nice in Portuguese. I can just
Muito
say,
bem. Muito bem is Portuguese.
Muito bem.
Muito bem. Use it as the call.
Solid.
Out the back to Damian Delende. He breaks away from the first tackler, supported by Jesse Creel, and up they go to halfway line. After halfway line, Faf de Klerk finds it at the back to Ergier Snyman. Pushed back as South Africa lose the ball forward through Stephen Kitzel. England now being harassed at the breakdown. Looked like there may have been a knock on there by Courtney Laws, not picked up by referee Ben O'Keefe. The box kick coming as Mitchell's having to go from the second man in the ruck to the fourth man. So really having to show us his footballing skills here. Will it be chased down by Franco Mostert? Good attempt in the end there. That one's high and it's almost gone backwards. That's gone straight into touch. So that will be a kick out on the full, and South Africa will be between 10 and halfway for the English for their own throw.
Pressure. That's what pressure does. The English team are really grasping at straws at the moment. The South African team just need to keep calm and just need to keep doing what they're doing. It's 49 minutes played almost. And Kitsoff replaced by the mighty Mr. Nche.
That one goes out to South Africa as Theo Kolisi knocks it back. Just remonstrating with the French referee. I don't know if you'll hear too many sympathetic ears from a French assistant referee on the far side of the park. South Africa inside their own half. Faf de Klerk setting up for a box kick. He does now. Thumps it high into the air. Ergier Snyman looking to disrupt things. Collected by Stewart, and he's breaking away from two tackles. Immediately over the ball is Most, who's tackled out of the way. Nambi putting pressure on Toe. Breakdown. South Africa now being put under pressure as Marler grabbing the shirt of Faf de Klerk, and I wonder if Brendan Pickerel is going to have anything to say about that. Grab the shirt of the man off the ball. It's unnecessary. Itojak, pick and go from the ruck. Goes round the corner. Big smash there by Franco Mostert. Marler now looking to dig this one out, but he's going to have to set up the caterpillar. Mitchell. No Englishman has yet come off the bench and remained off the bench. Good catch by Vermeulen to Oxenchair. Faf de Klerk looking to get some forward momentum here. Good rush defense here from the English as Valileru cuts back inside, and it'll be a knock on by one of the South Africans, and it'll be a scrum to England. 50 minutes played. It's 12 points to 6. Otto Simon take us to the hour mark.
This is a proper test match. And the scrap is big. The South African players...
replay here, it looks like. I wonder if referee Ben O'Keefe has seen something.
Yeah, we're looking at some replays here.
No, nothing obvious.
Right. So the scrum is set. 12 points to 6.
Dion Fourie and Kwagga Smith making their way on the park. Dion replacing Siyakulisi and Kwagga replacing Dwayne Vermeulen.
So that's interesting. Another 80-minute game for Bongi and Mbonambi.
Yeah, just Vincent Koch remaining on the bench for the Springboks.
Now, let's see. Right. So the scrum is going to be set 15 meters from the far side touchline, just inside the Springbok half. Ooh, about 3 or 4 meters inside the Springbok half. And Ben O'Keefe is just trying to figure out where players will have enough grip on the grass. Sits the scrum now. And Mitchell from the far side of the scrum. And the Springboks are just barging through the English scrum. Excellent scrum by the Springboks to have possession on the English half. And they're rumbling forward. Ruck is set now. Ranach into the hands of it's Faf de Klerk now. And it's going to go to the near side touchline. Dab through by Cheslin Colby, and Willie Leroux just can't get there as the ball dribbles over the dead ball line. That'll be a scrum to England. This Springbok team is smelling blood.
Word. That is a huge scrum. I'm sorry. I don't know how Ben O'Keefe's not immediately blown his whistle. That is probably the biggest scrum I've ever seen from a Springbok type 5. That's huge.
Yeah, Faf de Klerk picked the ball up from 5 or 6 meters behind the English scrum. But that's fine. Time off, says Ben O'Keefe.
Yeah, Ellis Genge is going to make his way on the park. He's going to replace Joe Marler. And it looks like Chesham, there's a multiple substitution here. So we'll try and keep up with them once we have it. So Marler comes off for Ellis Genge. And it looks like we're just trying to see who's coming off. George Martin coming off, perhaps for Chesham. And there's one more that's going to be made as Danny Kerr comes on for Mitchell. Keep going.
Yeah, it's a 22 kickoff, and the Springboks have possession inside their own half. No, it's been turned over by England, and they rumble forward over the 10-meter line of the Springboks. It's Danny Kerr over the 10-meter line of the Springboks. Once again, they go. Kerr to the far side. And a drop goal attempt by the English, and it's good. It's going to be 15-6, 53 minutes played, and England lead by 15 points to 6. This is a situation now for the Springboks. They need to get back into this game. The English have just scrapped out of a hole. There's no way the English would have won this game if they didn't play in this way. So another kickoff by the Springboks into the hands of Courtney Laws. Almost makes it to the 22. Good tackle there by Mbonambi. And now they scratch and scrap once again. The English back out of the caterpillar to the far side of the field. The ball is going to come down outside, and it's taken back, says the referee. So that'll be a Springbok line out inside the 10-meter line. Oh, no, it was just a bad kick. Okay. So Bongi and Mbonambi on the far side of the field. 15 points to 6 now. England leads South Africa. South Africa obviously
2 scores away,
feeling that the English are up for the taking, but English will hang on here and they'll keep scrapping as they have done so well. This has been an amazing performance by the English, by the way. absolutely being monstered by the Springboks and still in the lead. And all you need to do is be in the lead at the end of the game. That's all you need to do. So, Bongi
Well, it's going
Mbonambi.
to be an interesting final half an hour here.
Yeah, he's throwing into Peter Steph du Toit. The maul is set on the far side of the park. And England just crash. So, into the middle of the field. The Springboks have possession. They're moving forward up to the 22 now, almost of England. It's a advantage to England as they get a possession back. I assume that was a knock-on by the Springboks. And now the Springboks on the defense once again. Yeah, Valeleru dropping the ball. And now the caterpillar is set here once again for the English. And the kick is made down to the near side, 15 meters in. And that will be another rip-off by the English. They get possession back. And somehow the Springboks get possession back, kick the ball down to the far side of the park. And it's a fair catch inside the 22. That's going to be Owen Farrell once again, I think.
No, it'll be. He has to take it since he caught it. If he's
so that'll be the fullback, Fred Stewart. 15 points to 6, England lead.
Carl Sinclair's going to come on. He replaces Dan Cole. And Frans Malherbe is replaced by Vincent Koch. So an empty Springbok bench, but still 4 on the bench for England.
The kick for England goes to the far side of the park. And that will be a South African line out. On the far side of the park, South Africa playing right to left. That's just inside the South African half. Bongi Mbonambi with the ball. Much work to do here for the Springboks. Clever play here by England so far. Peter Steph du Toit down to Reinach. Attacking play here by the Springboks now. They've got to chase the game. Goes out back. And the kick comes. Going to go down inside the English 10-meter line. They have possession, do England. And they consolidate it perfectly. Going to the near side of the park here. Another ruck set by England. That will be Danny Kerr getting it out with the right boot. Sends the ball high up into the air. Once again, ball back into England's possession, and they kick it downfield to the far side of the park where Kurtley Arendse has to tidy it up, and he knocks it on, and that'll be a scrum to England on the far side of the field, 10 meters from the Springbok line. This is excellent play by England. 57 minutes on the clock now. Just about 10 minutes to go, and England lead by 12. This is excellent play by England. Yeah.
The pressure put on by the English chasing pack. They really were in the eye line of Kurtley Arendse. Just looks up for a brief second, and that's when he finds himself short. So South Africa need another massive scrum here or two as we clock over 58 minutes to turn over possession. Yeah, it's going to be
we're back.
Scrum required with the Springboks. There we go.
Oh, and it
Take us
is a
to the
massive
scrum.
scrum by the Springboks, but the referee resets it and says scrum ball to England once again.
Yeah, Vincent Koch is the one who they say has erred there. Let's see how this one goes. Jamie George there. Looks like he's been battered all day long by the Springboks, but it's his side that leads South Africa by 9 points. So South Africa still need 2 scores as we have 21 minutes remaining in this game.
No, this is going to be an epic battle. And England now have the chance to put it beyond 2 scores. And that will be a massive mountain to climb. The Springboks need to protect this deficit they have at the moment. Defensive scrum. And it's a scrum penalty to South Africa.
Springboks, yes, that's a huge scrum. Massive by the Springboks. And Carl Sinclair and Ellis Genge are folded like napkins in an origami studio.
No, apologies from my side. It seems that fiber is not that great on my side here.
It was a huge scrum by the Springboks. Massive one. And immediately Ben O'Keefe raises his arm aloft as the English forwards just popped up like Russian nesting dolls. It'll be a throw on the far side of the park, about a ruler's length inside the South African half. Mbonambi with the throw. Who is he going to look for? He finds Erge Snyman, more formed by the South Africans. Out the far side goes Dion Fourie, brought back inside, and the referee says it's gone out into touch on the far side of the park. It'll be an England throw. Good bit of awareness from England to shut that down. Dion Fourie only had one man to beat, and it was the awareness of Freddie Stewart to make the tackle on the right man. It was 2-on-1 there, but right idea, you would imagine, from the Springboks. They've got to throw caution to the wind here. They've got to throw a bit of a gamble if they want to claw their way back into this fixture. James Mulaney saying Genge will do nothing for the English scrum. Helen Shearing said, sounds like a messy game. Great commentary, guys. Well, thank you to you, Itoje, the recipient in that line-out. More formed, and this one goes away from the maul there. Looks unconvincing. Bongi Mbonambi diving in there as Danny Kerr thumps this upfield, but it doesn't really go forward. Can South Africa steal the possession back? It's knocked back multiple times, and a smashing tackle there on, looks like Billy Vunipola by Kwagga Smith. This one, again, advantage for the Springboks now. So a bit of a turnover here as the English knock this one on. Pollard through the hands to Willie Leroux. Cross kick looking for Cheslin Colby out wide. And the referee will undoubtedly blow his whistle. And he doesn't. They retain possession through Johnny May. Into the hands goes England, but it was knocked on. And Ben O'Keefe says, now it will be a scrum outside the 22 of the Springbok. 2 massive scrums by the Springboks to really put pressure on the English as Felix Jones and Rassie Erasmus are frantically shouting into their mics. Genge desperately begging for the referee's sympathy with his villainous moustache. It almost looks like a French villain from silent movies. Theo Dan's not on the park. Now there's Billy Vunipola is now on the park, but it is George Ford and Orly Lawrence yet to make an appearance. There's still 62 minutes gone on the clock, so still some time for both sides as Ben O'Keefe has a chat with the forwards. And then he pulls aside the captain, South Africa standing captain Bongi Mbonambi, and Owen Farrell being schooled, you might suspect, by referee Ben O'Keefe, asking for a bit of calm heads. But the replacement forwards for the Springboks have come on and absolutely turned on the gas here just changing the way that the mentality is from the Springboks. And I'm not sure what spray Earl is throwing on himself there. Perhaps a bit of grip spray or slip spray. We're not sure, but we hope it's not deodorant. I don't think it will work. So, scrum, about 20 meters in from the near side touchline. And it'll be the feed of the Springboks. 62 and a half minutes gone in this semi-final. 15 points to 6. South Africa playing right to left on our screens. England left to right. Genge, Sinclair and George having struggled in the previous scrum. So Chisholm and Itoje pack in behind their men. Excuse me. Care keeping an eye on South Africa's replacement scrum half in Faf de Klerk. Set is the call from O'Keefe. Another big scrum. It goes down. And South Africa get another scrum penalty. Fire! 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 That's all that this replacement front row has seen from the South Africans. Andre Pollard looking like he will set this one up as Jamie George complains to the referee. And Sinclair, the victim of South African dominance at scrum time. Brilliant stuff as this one's thumped out over the near side touchline. Otto Simon's back with me.
Yep. This is the critical part of the game now here for the Springboks.
Yeah, it was 67 minutes when the South Africans did score through Eben Etzebeth against France, where they turned the game around. Knocked back by England, turned the ball over in Billy Leroux between 10 and 22. Goes out to Andre Pollard. Hands off to Alangi, but he's brought down again as the South Africans are scrapping at ruck time to try and retain possession. Itoje finds Peter Steph du Toit in between 10 and halfway. Faf de Klerk begging for quick ball. Leroux into the hands of Erfjes Neyman. Breaks away through the gain line. Off to Vincent Koch, who has about 5 men to try and bring him down. Faf de Klerk looking for quick ball to Willie Leroux, out to Cheslin Colby, who's stopped on the far side by Elliot Daly. South Africa having to scramble to try and keep this possession of the ball, and it's a penalty for England. 64th minute, 40 seconds gone. Oh boy, could this be a major error by the Springboks? Holding on is the call. Ben O'Keefe has his hair aloft, and it's a great bit of work there by England at the breakdown. It is Johnny May who puts pressure on the South Africans. All that effort, and it turns out it's nothing. That'll go out on halfway.
This England team is scrapping. They are scrapping for every single point, for every single situation. They are absolutely surpassing themselves at the moment. It's up to the South Africans now to rise to their potential. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Jamie George.
Greetings from New Zealand, courtesy of Alan Shearing. So greetings to you too. George finds his jumper at the back. And referee O'Keefe saying everybody is able to join in. Use it once is the call as they throw men into the ruck because they know they're going backwards. Danny Kerr, box kick over the top, looking for Johnny May. Will it be a South African to collect? It is. It's Cheslin Colby who collects it. So South Africa now able to try and push it forward. Faf de Klerk to a forward in Vincent Koch. Drops his shoulder and forward he goes. Not able to get over the gain line. Box kick coming as Peter Steph du Toit is the blocker. Erfjes Neyman going to look to disrupt things at the catch with Franco Mostert. Too much time on the ball for Freddie Stewart as he goes over the 10-meter line. Danny Kerr to Owen Farrell, who thumps this high into the air. Scrappy, and it's collected by the South Africans as they will get a penalty advantage. Kwagga Smith was the man who came up with it. It was knocked on, and it'll be a scrum once again. That's the only space or the South Africa really into dominating the game is at scrum time. So hopefully they can repair what has been broken.
Yeah, this is a proper scrap, proper test match. And the English are winning the scrap at the moment. Let's see what the Springboks can do in the last 12 minutes. 15 points to 6. Scrum on the English 22, 15 meters from the far side touchline. Good attacking position here for the Springboks. Rain is starting to pour down.
It's on halfway.
Ooh-wee. On halfway. Yes. Okay. There we go.
This is stressful. And it's not like, as a South African fan, you can feel confident with where we are. It was a 1-point game last time, as referee Ben O'Keefe once again remonstrating with the English forwards. And Jamie George not yet removed from today's play, but still trying to ask for a bit of clarity. So maybe feeling a bit of distress here as Sinclair and Genge tuck in behind. South African bench looking nervous. And there's not much else they can do but shout support from the bench. This one is a call of bind and then set. Fed nicely there. Penalty advantage for the Springboks. Collapsing the scrum from the English. Again, a scrum penalty coming. To Dialende, to Pollard. Out wide, and it's been knocked on by the Springboks, so they'll have to go back. It was Andre Pollard who tried to get that move going, but thankfully for the Springboks, they have a penalty advantage. Collapsing the scrum is the call, and Otto, South Africa needs to find a way to get some scores.
Yeah, now they're chasing the game. They're kicking the ball out instead of going for the 3 points. And this is squeaky bum time now for South African fans against the English.
Well, this is an opportunity to gain their first try. G'd up by the medics are the English men. Change for England, as we'll see. Tom Curry once again made his mistake earlier, saying that it was Winnie Pollard, but it was actually Courtney Laws who I picked out earlier. So Mbonambi looking for his jumper. Who is it going to be? Fourie just sharing the number of the play that they're going to run. You would imagine that they would go to Erges Neyman at the front for a more. That's exactly what they do. I've predicted it perfectly. Deon Fourie out the back. He's got 2 meters short. Mbonambi, yes! Has he gotten over? No. 1 meter short. Pick and go. To Erges Neyman. Is he able to get it done? Yes! Right for the Springboks! Yes! 68 minutes gone, and they want the ball quickly. This game is not done, ladies and gentlemen. 11 points is where the Springboks are. They're 4 points away. The conversion still to come, but it was a fantastic move off of the line-out. Otto Simon, my stress levels can't take it anymore. Please take us home.
Oh, I hope I can last. This was just bashing and bashing and another bashing, and Erges Neyman just nonchalantly plonking it down next to his hip.
My word.
And this will be the
The first try of the
conversion to come with Andre Pollard slotting it through, and it's going to be 15 points to 13. This is Deon Fourie slogging away at the line, and then Erges Neyman doing an Etzebeth and just getting the ball down onto the ground after he made ground over the line. This is a very tight match. Finally, the English defense seems to crumble now. 2 points, 10 minutes left in the match. Bongi Mbonambi getting strapped up. They've already replaced Deon Fourie. So if Kwagga Smith comes on now, he's going to have to be the flank, and Deon Fourie will have to be the hooker.
Everybody's off the bench. Everybody's off the bench for the Springboks.
Oh, no. So Bongi has to be there.
He's got to play.
So England with the kickoff. To the near side of the park they go. And the ball is in the English hands. Johnny May is tackled over the near side touchline. It will be a Springbok line out. And what a catch there by Johnny May for England.
Good bit of awareness by Kwagga Smith to shove him into touch.
Oh my goodness, that is just insane. Right, so Bongi and Bonambi with a line-out throw. 10 minutes to play, 15 points to England, 13 points to South Africa. And Mbonambi goes to Mostert, goes out back, almost throws the ball over the head of Pollard as he kicks it downfield, collected by the number 14 of England, gets stopped just inside the Springbok half. England with possession, Danny Kerr to the near side. On the halfway line, England have a ruck. A Toje is there. And the ball is going to come out on England's side, just inside the English half. The ball goes up into the air. It's going to come down just inside the 22, where it's collected by Pollard very calmly, telling his fellow players not to freak out too much. So he has possession now. Andre Pollard with the right boot kicks it downfield. It is not going out. And the up and under, the Gary Owen is going to come down. Atoje up to the 10-meter line, has possession for England. To the middle of the field they go. Pieter-Steph du Toit rushing up in defense. The English managed to secure position. Owen Farrell with a high up and under once again. To the middle of the park. It's going to come down for Willie Leroux, who catches it right in the middle of the field, inside the 22.
Scrum.
And now
Scrum.
the Springboks call a scrum.
Oh,
Cocky bastards.
This is going to be
You
the biggest
cocky
scrum you've ever
bastards.
seen. That was incredible. That was. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm just saying things without actually adding content. Like this.
This is a proper test match now.
On
7 minutes to go. 7 minutes to go. 7 minutes to go. 2 points. The English have lost 2 of their scrums. The Springboks have lost none. Come on, boys, says Mostert.
Changes Lawrence. Ollie Lawrence coming on from Manu Tuolangi. Thought they would have brought on Theo Jan. This is probably the biggest scrum of the game, and you've still got your starting hooker on the field.
This is a big scrum. A big scrum. Who's going to come out on top here? Franco Mostert looking down. This is a big gamble by the Springboks. This is a big gamble by the Springboks. If the English get a penalty here, it's game over. 6 minutes now to go. Good scrum by the Springboks. Faf de Klerk digs it out. Out to Andre Pollard, who kicks it downfield to the far side of the field. It's not going to find touch. It's going to be, looks like George Ford. Kicks it up in the air. Gathered back by the Springboks through a knock-on by England. And this will be a Springbok scrum inside the English half. The Springboks are now cock-a-hoop. They're still behind on the scoreboard. 5.5 minutes left to play. The Springboks have another scrum inside the English half.
Huge territory. Huge territory for the Springboks.
This is insane gambling by the Springboks, but it's paying off. After all the scrapping, all the street smarts by the English that took them to a 15-6 point lead. Now the Springboks inside the English half, just inside the English half, about 17 meters from the far side touchline. 5 minutes left on the clock. Faf de Klerk has the ball under his arm. And they set for the scrum. Even Frans Malherbe is doing the jiggy. He can't watch. The scrum collapses. This is not in favor of the Springboks. They need to finish the scrum off quickly and get the ball back into their backline's hands. Lots of talk among the Springboks. The English also. Now, calm heads needed from both teams. 4.5 minutes left. 2 points. England 15. South Africa 13. The scrum is key. With Dion Fourie on the flank. With Bongio Manambi. Another 80 minutes. And no, the referee is not happy.
Sinclair, come on, man. They're intentionally
wasting time, and time is on the side of England. So this is clever play once again. Very clever, very well done here by England. The referee has not stopped the clock. There is now 4 minutes left to play. There's 2 minutes, 2 points behind the Springboks are. And the scrum is set finally. And Faf de Klerk with the ball. And immediately scrum penalty to the Springboks with a knee on the ground by the English players. And they are high-fiving each other. Oxenche, Ritze Nche did it. And Owen Farrell is talking to Ben O'Keefe, and Ben O'Keefe is saying, your prop put the leg on the ground.
Dropped the leg there. Jamie George remonstrating with the referee, and again.
Jamie George as well in there. Let's have another 10 meters, please, Mr. O'Keefe. And there's a shot at goal. So it will be Handré Pollard.
Yeah, scrumming skew as well. I mean, if you look at the overhead there.
Yeah, you can see it. Where the England prop just scrumming into the neck of, not scrumming straight at all. So just inside the English half, Handré Pollard has the kick, 49 meters. And it's going to be just to the right of the right-hand upright. He steps forward now, strikes it with the right boot, and it sails through the middle, and South Africa have the lead. 16 points to 15. 2.5 minutes left, and now Handré Pollard indicating to his forwards, yes, please, let's just get out. Let's just get the ball back.
And George
Ben O'Keefe says stop.
On the park. He replaces Johnny May on the wing.
Oh my goodness. How
I don't think this kick is going to be anything short of anything else.
How your nerves have to hold up if you're a player on the field. Never mind watching this, and the ball goes up high inside the 22, collected by South Africa, secured by, I think that's Kwagga Smith. A nice long caterpillar. Faf de Klerk wasting time. 78 minutes gone on the clock. And he's going to set with Oxenche going forward. Another long caterpillar here for Faf de Klerk. He's going to kick or pass. He kicks, and it goes to the far side of the park, over the far side touchline. England will have a line out on the halfway line. Just inside the Springbok half. So that's a nice place to be for the Springboks. After all the guile, all the shenanigans of the English, they throw it far beyond the line, and they now have it in the back line. they make it back over the halfway line, do the English. Now, Danny Kerr to Ford. Now it goes to Ilangi, and he's brought down on the 10-meter line of the Springboks on the far side of the park. England bashing it up, looking for the penalty. The ball is available, says Ben O'Keefe. Danny Kerr to the middle of the park. Owen Farrell sends it out to the number 20. Danny Kerr digging for it to Atoje, who's brought down by Etzebeth. 15 meters from the far side touchline. They come again. England do. They try to send it through the hands, but the Springboks line is just crashing through. Good work there by the Springboks. They're back on the halfway line are the English. Now they try to send it wide into the hands of Courtney Laws. Over the halfway line. He's 6 meters from the far side touchline. Danny Kerr into Atoje. He gets tackled back up onto the halfway line. No, says the referee. Danny Kerr to the near side, to the far side they go. The short side. And it's another good defensive effort here by the Springboks. Dion Fourie.
Got to turn the ball over to the Springboks.
Another one. Another wave of English attack. Now they're back into their own half. The Springboks swarming onto them. The ball is loose. They knock it back. They knock it forward, says the referee. And that is the end of the game. 15 points to 16. Another 1 point game by the Springboks. How the hell are we going to survive the final? But that was great stuff by the Springboks in the end. Just wave after wave. Oh my word. How? But in the end, yes, we did. And there's some argy-bargy, some talk about the braai after the game, some Englishmen crying, and relief, just relief for Springbok fans, for Springbok players. And England are out of the World Cup. They will play against Argentina for the bronze medal. And hopefully when they do win the bronze medal, they will actually wear it, as opposed to 14 of these guys who refused to wear the silver medal 4 years ago. And so we will see some sportsmanlike behavior by the English.
Sorry, I apologize for the screaming, but I think a deep breath. Okay, let's collect our thoughts. South Africa with another clutch performance, another try when it counted most, and it came down or two in that second half to scrum after scrum after scrum by the Springboks to get it over the line. All credit to this English side. They've come out and showed us a masterclass. They beat New Zealand in last year's semi-final to get to the final, and it was a mammoth performance from them to get to the final. But it look, South Africa who will take on New Zealand back-to-back final. Somebody's going to win a fourth World Cup on Sunday, and it will be Argentina and England who will contest the bronze medal. Will it be a step too far for the Springboks, or will it be New Zealand delight? Don't forget you can like and subscribe. Please make sure that you are subscribed so that you know when we go live. Or to Simon, take us through your thoughts.
Yes, see. I don't know, man. This was just classic test rugby by England. Just getting us, as an England fan, if you were an England fan, if I were an England fan, just getting in there just to get a chance. These guys need a big round of applause. These England rugby players, they really deserve a big hand. They really showed how to play test match rugby. This is exactly what you do when you're not supposed to win, and then the Springboks just said, no way, this trophy is ours. And I thought at the end of the first half, these England guys are starting to crumble, but they didn't. They did not. So big hand up, big big applause to England. I would go so far as to say they should have won this game. They did everything they had to do. They just didn't get the job done. But once again, the Springboks, from nowhere, nobody thought they would. I mean, how many minutes to go? 8 minutes to go? 12 points behind? En toe wragtig.
Match as well.
My heerlikheid. I mean, how do you play against a side when you put them down 12 points and they come back and they win? I mean, this is even better. This is even better than what England did tonight. So both teams, flippin' amazing.
Yeah,
prachtig.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
double
big applause.
Over the English. That's all I'm gonna say.
I really. Oh yes. Yeah, we won in the cricket, but I mean, Test match rugby, there's nothing better. And coming back from 12 points down, man, this was amazing. This was even better than last week against France. This is just amazing.
Well, thank you just for being with me, and thank you as always to our listeners and viewers who have joined us for this game. Thank you, Pumzile, because this is a game that I can't handle these 1 points that stress. I'm going to be able to back this. New Zealand will run us over, but he has faith that the Springboks will win their 4th World Cup. Lisa Kukumur also saying hello. And thank you to all of you who have stayed with us. Thank you for all who have liked and subscribed. Don't forget to ding the bell. You'll know when we go live next weekend. Boy, oh boy, is this stressful. So from all of us here at One World Sports Radio, thank you. And we will see you next week.
Yes, we will see you next week for the final and not for the bronze medal match. So thank you to the Boks. And yeah, thank you. I don't know what else to say. Look out for the Crash Ball podcast number 9, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.